And honestly, I think this team could win champs. What's on, guys? J-Hoy back with you. Today, welcome back to Call of Duty Vanguard. We're back here on ranked play once again. We do well individually, but did we come out with a win? Well, you're going to have to wait and see. But today, we are here with our post-Major 4 pre-Call of Duty Championships power ranking. So, the way we're doing this, I don't know, usually I have a lot of notes for each of these teams, but we're just going to give you the straight list. We're going to talk about these teams, some interesting storylines entering champs, and of course, we're going to take another peek at the champs bracket. So, let's start with the 4 teams that will not be attending Call of Duty champs. Let's start, of course, with the bottom, the team that has been there all year long, the Paris Legion. What do we even say anything about them? So I guess we'll just give a little bit of a recap of their year. They've sucked. They've swapped players around, and they've sucked. They had 20 CDL points. They won 2 matches the entire year. They went 2-23 as far as match count goes. Is that map percentage? I think 8% map. No, that's game. Yeah, that's a match win percentage is 8%. Map record of 31-73 with a game winning percentage of 29. So yeah, they're awful. Is basically what we're saying. So yeah, that's about it for Paris. Let's move on. Next team, the Minnesota Rocker. Another team that, you know, if you guys remember, we had like a 3 through 11 teams that all could have made champs, all could have lost out of champs. Minnesota just happened to be one of those teams that just didn't really win when they needed to. Now, they also had a very hard first round in the losers bracket. I think it was against Optic, actually. So they were fighting a pretty big battle, but they did have a chance, right? They definitely did have a chance. But you put any other team in there, with the exception maybe faze, and do they win that? I mean, they have a chance, right? So Minnesota Rocker, though, 140 CDL points, 14-14 match count record, 50%. Map count, or a game count, I guess is what it's considering, 57-58, so just a hair under 50%. So again, one of those teams that was there, contributed, it was average, never really placed too well, and you know, they made some noise upsetting some top teams, but never really could win a tournament or really get to, you know, the later parts of tournaments. So good year for them. I see them kind of not completely blowing up, but at least making a definitely one, maybe 2-person change going into the offseason. But Minnesota, great. I wouldn't want to say great year, but an okay year. We'll see you next time. Next team, the LA Gorillas, a team that won an event this year. Did we remember that? They won an event, and they don't even make champs. But Gorillas, let's look at their stats here. 155 CDL points, 15-17 match count, 59-72 map count, 45% game winning ratio, or whatever the heck we're calling this. So again, a decent year from them. You know, Gunless went out of their team. Spark came in, had this miraculous run. They won the tournament, but it was never fully there. Like they got so lucky with that tournament win that they got hot at the right time with a gun that wasn't really being used at all, and then everyone started to use it at the same time, and then they got super lucky, and then they sucked completely after that. And well, they sucked before that. They had one good event, and then after the event, gone. Like, they kept Spartan in the lineup for Gunless, and they just weren't good. Right? They just weren't good. They got so lucky at that event. But LA Gorillas, again, we'll see you next year. As far as what they do, who knows? Florida Mutineers, another team that was arguably one of our top 4 teams for a portion of the year, but then also was part of our bottom 4 for a portion of the year. So a team that just went this the entire year long ends up out of the playoffs due to a very good run by New York. But of course, we'll get into that in a second. But Florida, 160 CDL points, 13 and 18 match count record, map count of 54 and 68, 44.6%. Another team that kind of swapped around some players towards the end of the year, couldn't really put it together, was a good team, but like they weren't, but they also had like 3 ARs on that team. Very, very weird makeup of that team for a game that didn't really suit more than 1 AR most of the time. For a team that had 3, for a guy that, you know, claimed he could be an SMG and want that. I don't know. It just didn't really work out for them. So they had Skies, they had Dave Patty, and they had Awakening, who were all traditionally ARs. And then they had, what was it, Vivid or something. So, you know, their subs weren't there. They just had a very weird makeup to that team that it just didn't really work. I think in one way or another, you have to split up Awakening and Skies. Definitely. Dave Patty, I don't know if he stays on this team or not, but I think definitely at least a 2-person change with at least one of Skies or Awakening gone off this team. You know, it sucks for them because they did pretty decent the entire year and then just didn't make it in the end. Now, here's the other thing too. If there was more Call of Duty to be played, I feel like they would have done a lot better. Not a lot better, but like we would have had a more defined top best 8 teams in the game, I feel like. All right, time to get to our final 8. So to start off 8th place in our power rankings, we have the London Royal Ravens. Now you may be asking, how are you putting a team that finished 4th in the entire league this year in 8th place power rankings? Well, they got a lot of those points early on, and they looked really good early on. And then kind of have just been on the decline the rest of the year, right? They had to make a roster change due to some personal issues with Gizmo. They didn't look like the same team after that. They swapped up roles, didn't really work. Gizmo comes back in, hasn't really looked like the same team that was, you know, before. But they go 190, CDL points, 17 and 14 match count. They go 63 and 62 map count. And like I said, they had a lot of those points early on. So they haven't really looked great recently. And that's kind of my main reason for putting them in 8th. Yeah. Plus, they have a very hard championship run if they want to make it far in champs. Though, you know, we'll get into full champs look in a separate video and predictions, of course. But for now, we're going to go to our 7th place team, the Boston Breach. Another team that has, I mean, maybe it's just Vanguard, but every team has looked really good, like the best team in the game, and then the next tournament they look like they just don't know how to play Call of Duty anymore. So, is that a Vanguard thing? Is that a, you know, is that an actual thing? I don't, or is it just a really competitive league now? I don't know, but I think it's probably Vanguard. But Boston Breach, I put in 7th place here. They finished 6th in the league, 180 CDL points, 16 and 16 match count record, I should say, 63 and 68 map count record. And another team that looked really good, looked really bad, looked really good, looked really bad, kind of was just up and down, decent in the like 3 to 8 range like most of the year. So not really too much to say about this team. You know, again, they do I think they have a chance at champs? They're gonna be in for a pretty hard run, but Boston, we'll see at champs. Seattle Surge, another team that won an event this year that barely made it into champs this year. You know, we have them in 6th. They finished in 5th in the league. They go 15 and 15 with a 65 and 62 map count record. Another team that looked pretty good, but again, has been really inconsistent at the same time. So, again, what do we think the guys are going to do? I don't know. It's so hard because every team's been so inconsistent. But they sit in 6th in our power rankings, and we'll see what they do at champs. 5th place has the Toronto Ultra, a team that, again, had a lot of points early on. They won a kickoff classic, if you want to count that an event. I mean, again, 5th place, 7th in the league. Another team that kind of bounced around, looked really good, was a top 4 team coming into the year, has kind of been inconsistent, dropped down to, I think it was like 11th at one point, then jumped back up, but did well on land, and it's just, again, a very inconsistent year for them. We put them in 5th because we know what this team can do, right? This team dominated, like, what was it, the second half or a good portion of last year in Cold War. So Toronto, we know what they have, but can they bring it up, and can they show it at the last event of the year? We'll see. Another tournament winner, the New York Subliners. Another team that, I mean, squeaked in the smallest crack possible. A team that made an absolute Cinderella run. Coming into the last event, Major 4, in 11th place. They needed, what, half the teams to lose. And I feel like a lot of that came down to Minnesota losing early on, LAG losing early on. They beat Florida, which was huge for points. And then Florida got eliminated. I mean, they just had such a perfect run that crimsix and the boys are back. And make it, was it 10 years in a row for Crim? That just, it's shocking, really shocking. They actually made an upgrade to their team, if you want to call it that. You know, with crimsix, you have Kismet, Paul X, and Hydra. You know, usually teams that are not doing well make changes, and then, you know, sometimes it goes really well, sometimes it goes really bad, or sometimes just kind of like a neutral change where it doesn't really help much, but they needed to try something. Well, this team made some bold moves, right? They dropped Clayster, they brought in Paul X. Who else was their sub on this team? And they had Neptune there, which was, you know, kind of shocking that didn't really work out because he was a really good young player, but just it didn't really work out in New York for him. But New York, shocking run for them. You know, with an event win, their hot streak recently. They placed, what was it, top 6, top 4? What they placed at the last event? I don't even remember, but they placed really well for what they did. No, they placed 2nd, right? Because they lost to LA Thieves. So, yeah, they won from the winner's side of the bracket. Because I'm pretty sure LA Thieves won from the loser's side. Or maybe it was flip-flop. I don't remember. But 4th place for New York Subliners. In 3rd place, our most recent major winners, the LA Thieves. Another team that people are saying blow it up, blow it up, blow it up. And then they stuck together. They make couple role changes that were pretty questionable, moving Kenny to a sub, Draza to an AR, which next year I think Draza will be gone. Kenny will be back on an AR and they'll get a sub to fit with Envoy. But for now, they go into champs, our most recent major winners. We have them in 3rd place. But again, 250 CDL points, or 215 CDL points, 18 and 17 match count, a 76 and 69 map count. Another team that's looked like one of the worst teams, and they looked like one of the best teams, and they kind of just been in the middle and in and out and back and forth and upside down, and it just, you know, they've been there. They've been every single part of this league. You know, from the best team to the worst team, to consider to be a good team, consider to be a bad team, should be a make roster changes team, to no, they should stay together because they're really good right now team. So I don't know what to think about this team. I really don't. You know, they finished in 3rd overall. You know, do I think they deserve that? I don't know. Like, it's hard because after Atlanta and Optic, the 3 through 11 teams have just been completely different. Like, the difference between 3rd place and 11th is, what is that? 75 points, I think, which isn't too crazy. Like, that's one event. So that's pretty incredible, right? It's really incredible. The points difference from 3rd to 11th is that close. But LA Thieves sit in 3rd place. In 2nd place, making a resurgence with a great performance at Major 4, coming top 4, is Optic Texas. Now, I'd love to put Optic as number 1. But unfortunately, given their Major 4 qualifier run, I can't. Right? They go 1-4. Obviously, it's with a good reason, with illey being in and out with a thumb injury, them playing with Proloot, you know, but kind of in and out of the lineup with General and Proloot. Illey's been in and out. Obviously, trying to make sure he's 100% healthy for this event. Right? Champs is everything. As long as you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. They've looked really good. When this team is on their game and they have their full 4 roster, they're arguably the best team, right? I know they finished in second to Atlanta, which shockingly is the #1 team, but 265 CDL points, 24-12 match count, a map record of 90-55, which is our best map record in the entire league, along with our second best match winning record. They've been good. They've won an event. They won the first major of the year. This is their time to shine, right? Who do they play in the first one? They play Ultra and then the winner of Thieves and Breach. So if they can get through those 2 matches with wins and then face whoever comes in the winners finals and gets to the grand finals, I think they win the tournament. But in order to get there, you have to go through either FaZe, New York, London, or Seattle, along with Ultra, Thieves, or Breach, right? That's all 8 teams right there, obviously. That's how this tournament works, Josh. But they have a tough matchup, right? But now's the time to show it, right? Show your map pool. Outclass them. Outgun them. You're the best team in the game. You have to go into the event thinking, this is it. Leave everything on the court. Everything on the field. Everything on the sticks, if you will. Everything on the maps. You got to give it. There's nothing else to play for after this event. But they won an event this year, which is huge, and that's more than what our #1 team can say. Atlanta FaZe. Now, of course, I had to dig them just a little bit, but 330 CDL points, match count of 28-13, 68.3% map winning record, and then 102-70 for a game winning record, or map winning record, I should say. So a team that's been in the top 4, top 3 the entire year, but has never won a tournament. They've been a really good team. Obviously, our reigning world champs. I think they can do it. You know, they have what arguably the easier side of the bracket, but is there an easier side of the bracket? I don't really know, since you know, after Optic and Atlanta, every team is just about the same. They're very inconsistent, and who knows who's going to win on any given day. But Atlanta, obviously a tough team to beat, and they're the team to beat right now. Even though they have not, you know, won a tournament this year, I still consider them, you know, our #1 team going in right now. And until they can get to a final and win it, then it's hard to say that they're the clear-cut #1 team. But, you know, they're facing some tough competition. They can be beaten, and especially given the Green Walls wants to knock them back down, I feel like it's going to be a good event. But, of course, it's all for champs, which is on your screen now. Winners round 1, FaZe versus Subliners, Ravens versus Surge, Optic versus Ultra, and Thieves versus Breach. Double elimination bracket. You know, this year you have to win 4 matches to be the winner, which, if you guys remember, I say it all the time. If you remember looking back to old champs where there's 250-something teams there, they go through pool play, they go through all the open bracket has to go through that, they grind through pool play or group play, they then go through the bracket. You know, it was a absolutely crazy time, but this is going to be the champs bracket. I cannot wait to watch. A lot's going to be going on for that weekend for me, so hopefully I can catch as many games as possible. You know, usually I didn't watch, you know, many other games, but I'm going to try to watch as many as I can. But for now, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know of your predictions, your power rankings, your bold takes, your hot takes, your cold takes even. Whatever you want to tell me, let me know down in the comment section below. But if you guys did enjoy, hit that like button down below if you haven't yet, or if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and so you never miss an upload. And don't forget, you can always change your mind. later. With all that being said, guys, we'll see you in the next one.
In the shadows.